uplift me,
right,
trying to get me to improve, hold me accountable. Tough love, absolutely.
This is a
I think is
male
important.
model.
There's a total difference between tough love and shame. Shame is a component of tough love.
He said shame's a component of tough love. You know, it's different in Eastern Western societies. Shame to this one guy, he's an obese male model.
Only done with the intent to hurt somebody, not to uplift them.
We got to reset.
So they just disagree on semantics. This is a whole thing of jacked people versus fat people that Jubilee is doing.
I would not like to be on the other side. If that's true for you, come forward.
Interesting question. Let's see. Who says what? Most people want to be fit. I think everyone is going to say they want to be fit, basically, really. And if anyone says they don't, I mean, it doesn't have to be big, but people don't want to be obese. No one will want to be on the other side. No one actually wants to be
They do your graduation photos, and they had a saying, and my saying was, my worst nightmare would be if I gained 10 pounds of fat. Literally, grade 12.
Mine was, statistically, Mormon girls are pretty hot. And I had some other funny ones in the yearbook, but I was young.
I remember it clear as day. I was already a competitive bodybuilder. And so to imagine being 100 or 200 pounds overweight when I strived my whole life to look kind of like this, I just couldn't imagine it. It would be a nightmare for me.
It's unconscionable
from like a
myself
health perspective, like being overweight or obese like puts you at a higher risk of developing chronic illnesses, and I think I wouldn't want to be in that position. And if I was in that position,
it really does put you in, you know, they definitely cost 10 times to the system, and you're way more likely to get
I would do what I can or to get to a healthier way.
This guy started skinny, put on a lot of muscle, really
Okay,
so
I just want to make sure everyone gets to say their piece before I go. I mean, yeah, it's completely unacceptable to be fat as a man, man. It's completely unacceptable. It's just so many problems with it.
Not going to be a good take, so just kind of look out. He probably is going to say something just to, you know, piss people off.
I've been skinny and I've been in shape, and I will pick being in shape every single time. Just like if you have someone that's rich or someone that's poor, they will pick being rich every single time. And the thing is that most fat people, not all, but most have
So, yeah, most people would pick being in shape.
Even seen their abs. They've never seen what their body is capable of. They've never been actually happy with their physique. And once you get that taste, you're never going to want to go.
That's true. I remember walking by the mirror in 8th grade when I started to get jacked, and that feeling, woo! That's a good feeling, and it is addictive.
And then on top of that, you're going to want to go ahead and tell all those fat asses that you were once friends with, you need to get in shape. This is awesome. But the reality is we live in this
That's part of it with friends especially. So with close friends, yeah, they do tell them how much better their life is. One thing about that is they tell them to do the certain diet they did, and then there's arguing. But
a world where we coddle fat people, we coddle idiots, we coddle morons, and we don't hold anybody accountable, and we allow mediocrity to strive in the West. And I think we need to go back to shaming fat people. We need to go back to making fun of them. I mean, if I was president, hell, I'd put all of them in a fat concentration camp so they could concentrate on dieting and exercising, because...
So, no due process there. Bad use of language also with the concentration camp.
Is completely not acceptable. I'd have these people... back in shape, because what people don't also understand is that...
So to put people in concentration camps without due process is absurd. I'm all about using lip service as the president to say we have a huge thing and we need to take care of it.
Healthcare system. Obesity, diabetes.
This is true. They cost about 10 times as much, which is unbelievable. And obese beds for hospitals cost like 13 times as much. It's unconscionable how much.
Heart disease, etc. It's a big problem.
Do you really mean that, or are you just saying that?
Yeah, I'm dead ass. Yeah, if I was president, make me president, I would get rid of the obesity problem like that. I find it interesting that they can lock us up in their homes for almost...
So that's true. I was not a fan of being locked in the home either.
Almost 2 years saying wear a mask, etc. But then I say I'm gonna lock these dudes up in a concentration camp where we're gonna get them healthy food, we're gonna get them exercising, and I'm looked at as crazy.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
That's crazy. It is crazy to take away due process. People were mad that there was no due process for stay in your house. There's no due process. I mean, this is unbelievable. Yes, the president should be all about, yes, let's get in shape. Let's get in shape.
There's a distinction between having opinions about how COVID was handled and genuinely believing that all fat people should be in a concentration camp.
Yes, a concentration camp. Let me be clear. I'm talking about a concentration camp where they're concentrating on diet and exercise.
You could provide a free one that they could go to that's not a concentration camp. That it's,
I wouldn't necessarily
would
want
help,
to go from one
like
extreme
weight
to
loss
another.
rehab, not a fat
I
farm.
also would not want to be spewing out stuff just to hopefully get a viral clip.
So he gets the game
So
too. All these people here are pretty big online, and so these
If you
people.
could snap your fingers and look like any of us, would you not do it? Like, would it
I
not be worth
probably
it?
choose to look like Tyler. I want to go to a place where it's comfortable and it's healthy all around. I'm not doing things that could negatively impact me in a
Tyler's the tall, really handsome, but somewhat overweight, obese male model.
way to get to a place like that. Like, I've gone through that. I've gone through having eating disorders, from chewing gum and drinking water and starving myself in different ways to achieve something. Like,
Greg's just thinking, you should have read my book because, yeah, that guy's talking about cutting calories without having any protein. Yes, of course it's not going to work out. He did fad diets. Greg's like, dear
when I was
Lord, if they would
dancing,
have read my book.
my dance teacher
Buddies.
blatantly told me, if you don't
Nodding
lose
along.
a certain amount of weight, I'm kicking you out of the showcase. So what did I do? I resorted to everything that I could possibly do to cut pounds like
He resorted to things that didn't include protein, like chewing gum, eating crackers,
crazy.
stupid
And
stuff.
it wasn't sustainable.
Of course
it
it's
really
not.
screwed with me mentally, but I was doing it. And of course, like,
You know what? People had told you before about fat and muscle and that you need to put on muscle and have protein. You just didn't listen to it.
in the moment,
Because he listened to the stuff that sounded awesome, the lose it fast. And so the whole lose it real fast doing this fad thing, you can even lose it
and it
fast with
sort of
protein.
felt good, but then I fainted in class one time. And that
Yeah, of
really, really
course.
sucked.
So I feel like he would switch sides if it meant doing it naturally. Like, he's obviously natural, he's natural.
That's what I'm saying.
obviously not.
I would switch sides if it meant that I could do it in a healthy way. And I mean, obviously, like,
He can do it in a healthy way. I'm over
and
here
I'm
now.
working on that. I'm not saying that what you did was wrong. I really applaud
Saying
the fact
putting
that you're
people in
saying
concentration
to people
camps
like,
is
hey,
wrong.
this was what my journey was. This is what it took. But I really don't advise that.
Okay, so here's the
Are you
thing,
talking
man.
about Greg
Like,
with the standards?
excellence and comfort cannot coexist. If you want to be an anomaly and you want to be the trendsetter, you want to be the top guy,
Everyone's got to find a balance. Muscle grows during rest. There's some truth to what he's saying, but not about the concentration
you got to be
camps.
able to be comfortable being uncomfortable. As far as like,
Yeah, you got to be uncomfortable being. This content creator knows how to be uncomfortable. He wakes up and posts all the time. That's tough
weight loss,
to
because
do.
you said I'm just saying things to get a viral clip. How would you deal with the obesity problem?
Like I said, pouring life into people. How am I dealing with it? I'm sharing what it's taking me.
Explain
I'm
what pouring
sharing
life is. Like, what would that actually look like?
as someone who creates content
So, I don't think Myron or this guy could fix the crisis.
online.
Greg might
I
could.
share what it is I do in the gym. I share my routine.
That's
I
not
talk about
always
like,
that
hey,
good.
today was a shit day, but guess what? I pushed past that and I just benched 405. That's more
That's
than my weight. When I want to
impressive.
hang out with friends,
It's a good
if I
message.
know that my schedule does not allot me that time, but I know that I have this time during the gym, I'll tell my friends like, hey, pull up with me.
So you're
So he's joining the good side. He's not on the dark side, and he's on a weight loss journey.
inspiring
If
others.
you bench
Yes.
400, you're
Okay,
gonna feel good
well,
about yourself.
what if I told you at the camp everyone's exercising together and they're inspiring each other?
But
Same
you,
thing.
You,
But there's no
you
due
approached
process to
it
get
at such
there.
a negative way. Like you.
Yeah, you can provide a Hotel California where they go and get workout for free, where it's taxpayer funded or something where it's subsidized, like community college, something like that. But you
Approached
can't
it from
call
a
it
place of
concentration
shame
camp.
and like
Here we are with commercial. So, yeah, this is pretty bananas.
most of us have blatantly told you that shame didn't really work. Shame is what led me.
Shame works in Japan, but Eastern and Western countries are very different. Also, content creators are not scared of speaking in public, so which puts them as different
To an
people.
eating disorder.
Also,
Shame is what led me to unsustainable weight loss.
Whose fault
when
is that,
what
though?
we're looking for is
Whose fault is that?
stability.
It was
Whose fault
his
is that
fault.
you decided to go an
So-
unsustainable route with dieting?
his
Whose
fault.
fault?
So if I was given a
it is his fault that he didn't do people have told him about the protein while dieting, and he didn't do it. Clearly, if he's just eating, crackers. or whatever he
timeline
said
that
he
I
was
needed to
doing,
meet,
like,
and I'm trying to figure out without also having the tools to do so the proper way, and I'm just grasping at straws on how I do it, yeah, it's not sustainable.
Yeah, so whose
It
fault
is
is it that
sustainable